Musa, you all set?
I'm set, yes. Is Mike okay?
Yeah, he's okay.
Recording in progress.
I'd like to call the Conservation Commission Inland Wetlands meeting to order at 6:30, Watertown Town Hall, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut. Roll call, please.
Craig Palmer.
Here.
Tom Murphy. Ned Dalton here. Joe Paletta. George Tupats.
Turn your mic on when you want to speak.
Luigi Cavallo.
Here.
Charles Bellevaux. Mike Jedd. Ed Norton.
Here.
So we got a seat, Ed for Tom.
For Tom Murphy. We're going to see Ed Norton for Tom Murphy. 3 public hearings, so maybe the secretary could read the ground rules and the legal notice.
Yeah. All right. Ground rules for the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency. 1, the applicant or his or her representative will make his or her formal presentation to the commission stating the proposed regulated activities, the wetland impacts, and the alternatives which were considered by the applicant. 2, all comments, discussion, and observations shall be made through the chairperson after proper recognition by the chairperson. This is necessary to ensure that only one person at a time speaks on any issue, thus making it easier for everyone to understand and for clearer legal transcription. 3, all persons addressing the commission shall begin by first clearly stating their name and address for the record. If necessary, the person may be asked to spell his or her name for the record. 4, following the presentation of the application, the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency will ask specific questions of the applicant. 5, after the commission has asked its questions of the applicant, the chairperson shall then allow any members of the public who wish to speak either in favor of this application or against it to address the commission. 6, the chairman shall then allow the applicant to respond to the comments of the members of the general public. 7, the chairman shall then allow any members of the general public who wish to present any additional information or clarifying discussion to do so. 8, the chairman shall then provide an opportunity for the applicant to respond to these additional remarks if he or she or his or her representative so wish. 9, the Conservation Commission and the Wetland Agency has 35 days from the date the public hearing commences to complete the public hearing. The commission may ask the applicant for a 35-day extension of the public hearing period if the commission requires any additional information or wishes to schedule a site walk to observe the situation for themselves. 10, the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency has 35 days from the date when the public hearing is closed to render its decision. And public hearing, so.
There is no legal notice for the first application because this is the continuation of the public hearing from September 14.
3, public hearing, continuation of the public hearing from the September 14, 2023 for the application of 2023-11 of Nicholas Biello for the construction of a single-family home driveway, underground utilities within a regulated area on a parcel of land located in Hamilton Lane, Watertown. Yeah,
The face with the
face
lines on it.
like you're
Thanks,
speaking
Ed.
out of it?
Thank you. All right. Mr. Chairman, David Hughes, professional engineer, registered land surveyor, 57 Norway Street, Oakville. We submitted some revised plans of the plot plan from our previous meeting last month. There were 3 revisions, 3 major revisions. One was rotating the house and moving it closer to the road as per the request of the commission. Also, we added the roof drain collection detention system. Had a chance to review that with Paul, the town engineer. and also added the limit of disturbance, which is also the sedimentation barrier. And those are the revisions. Any questions?
Any questions from the commission? Musa, do you have some comments?
No, Mr. Chairman, they were the questions that was raised at the last meeting, and Mr. Hughes responded to those questions accordingly. And one thing that I asked for was to show us where the limit of disturbance is. And now there is a note that says that the silt fence is the limit of disturbance.
Oh, Paul, do you have any questions on this?
No, Mr. Chairman, I just wrote a quick comment letter saying that, as Musa said, the limit of disturbance is shown outside the wetland boundary. He did move the house. And David, how far is the house from the back, the southwest limit of the disturbance? Is it like 20?
I believe the closest corner is the southwest corner of the house to the flag. A12 is 25 feet.
That's about what I thought.
Yep.
Okay. And I reviewed the infiltrator roof gallery, so I'm fine with that. So I'm fine with the application as presented, revised to 10/11/23.
I mean, could it be moved closer to the road or no? Because you got like a big turnaround there in the driveway?
I guess it could be moved a little closer. You know, we went through the layout with the client or the applicant, and that's what they were looking for. I thought that was a reasonable split.
And there's no basement, correct?
This will be on a slab, that's correct.
And no other outbuildings or anything's proposed, correct?
You know, one of the things that we haven't had a chance to put together based on timing and being able to get the architecturals together is probably an in-law apartment in the future. So we'd like to be able to come back before the commission for an addition on the in-law if it's a possibility in the future.
I mean, on this existing structure in-law?
I'm sorry?
On this building here, put an in-law apartment in this?
Yeah, it will probably be an addition. I don't know where the addition will be, maybe off of the back of the garage. As I said before,
Right, but that won't be included in this.
It's not
permit.
included in this footprint.
Right, it won't be included in our approval then, either, if we don't have that.
Right, it
here.
won't be,
Right.
that's why I said we would come
Right.
back before the commission. If that was something that's something that they would like to do. The question
I
is
don't know.
whether
Yeah.
it will get done.
Any other questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, if you make a decision on this tonight and the area between the house and the silt fence in the back, that area is kind of disturbed anyway. If in future they want to do an in-law apartment in the back of the house, it can be done by staff also in the office. Because they are not it doesn't require additional impact on the
Right.
regulated area.
So
I mean,
that would
it
be
can be-
administrative review
Yes,
then?
it can
Okay.
be, yes. Because with this application, the commission already approved activities within the limit of the silt fence.
Okay,
And that addition will be within that area.
yep, very
You
good.
don't need like another permit, but it should be reviewed by staff at that time.
Understood, thank you.
Any questions from the public on this? Anybody from the public wishing to speak on this application?
Close. Motion to close.
Dave, you can guarantee it doesn't increase, and, you know, that's the neighbors that were here before. I lived in town all my life. We pump a lot of basements in that neighborhood.
Well, the
I'm just saying, as
groundwater,
long as you're not increasing, I don't know the drainage system in the area, but the last storm we were over there up at, I forget the address.
yep,
So somehow that has to be addressed. If you're going to guarantee that we're not going to do anything to the neighbors flooding or the school or.
absolutely. I mean, there are some areas that are flooding now. One of the areas is
Yeah.
coming off of the parking lot for Judson School. I know that there was an additional parking lot that was built not too long ago, and I know that the catch basin discharges right in the back of one of the houses that is in front here. So I'm going to say it is probably the Myers piece, which is the one adjacent to the school.
Right.
So it probably drains on both this piece, the subject piece, and the Myers piece, and it works its way to the culvert that Mr. Biello put in back in 1990, and then works its way down to the larger culvert, which is, I believe, a 24-inch on the Michaud piece. Okay, so the biggest problem with flooding over there is probably that extra water coming into this area, into this neighborhood, and the clogging of that culvert that we've had more than once over the last 30 years happen. We've had complaints based on our discussions last month.
And the driveway there's no drainage, the driveway, there's no drainage anywhere there, correct?
There's an existing culvert that's proposed, that's existing under the driveway. So Mr. Biello was able to get that approved back at the 1990 wetland application, along with the filling. So he installed that, that driveway culvert. So that connects the wetlands coming from the southwest, and also the water that's coming from Judson, and it allows it to go all the way behind the Michaud piece and then get picked up by the 24-inch culvert, which takes it to the road.
But the roof drains into the detention basins, is it tied into the sewers, the storm sewers? No.
Is the detention basin,
The drain, yes.
the roof drain
Right, no.
for the proposed house?
Yes.
It's a detention basin underground, halfway in the
Right.
into the existing grade, and it's based on volume, okay? And it does have an overflow pipe.
Right, comes out
Comes
towards the
out.
wetland here.
In the wetlands area. But there's no drainage on the driveway at all. It's just
The only drainage that's on the driveway is what was existing.
existing,
That's it.
nothing, right.
Yep, that's the culvert, the existing culvert.
Are you proposing to change the size of the pipe in the driveway?
No.
Is that handling all of the water?
That's a good question. We didn't take a look at the sizing of the culvert because it was existing. So we didn't look at that.
That might have to be addressed, correct?
It's like a 12 or 10 inch
I think it's a 12.
12
size-
pipe going across there?
What size is the pipe under the driveway there? I think it's a 12-inch.
12-inch, 12.
Paul, do you have any comments on that? Do you know the situation in that area?
Yes, I know, I believe the Myers that Mr. Hughes alluded to, the property next to the school, I believe they have an issue with water in that backyard area, but it's partly due to the discharge from the new lot that the school put in, but it's also very flat back there, and we were out there with the little field walk with them, and they may have may come back in the future with some kind of drain or regrading that swale back there, which would help the situation, get the water from the south side of their property towards the culvert under the driveway and then to the other culvert on the side of.
Not in this driveway, though. But change the culvert size in this driveway?
No, it wouldn't change the size of the culvert, no. It would just get the water from, it's very flat back there.
Right.
That's partly why it's wet, but it's just there's growth in there, it just happens
Right.
with every other.
But this 12-inch pipe that's currently under the,
Yeah, and
there's a road.
that should be fine for,
so that's
The drainage.
properly sized for
yeah,
what's going on there?
correct. Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
The letter from the neighbor.
Read that into the.
Yeah. I have a letter from one of the neighbors dated September 1st, 2023, to the Town of Watertown Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals, Conservation Commission, Inland Wetland Agency, Watertown Municipal Center, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut. In regards to application 2023-11 of Nicholas Biello for construction of a single-family home and driveway and underground utilities within a regulated area on a parcel of land located at Hamilton Lane, Watertown. Dear members, We have lived at 70 Hamilton Lane since 1958, when our parents first bought the house. We all went to school at Judson School and up through Watertown High School. My mom just passed away last year, and I am her son and executor of her estate. Our father passed in 2009. We have a friend living at 70 Hamilton Lane since her passing. It has come to our attention that Mr. Biello is trying to build a home behind our property. This land has never been developed over all these years, as they are wetlands and always fill up with water during rainfall. I have been told that the developer already started moving dirt around behind our property and has already caused a major water problems and flooding on our property. We are filing a complaint at this time. I have also been told that the entire neighborhood is very upset as it is causing flooding elsewhere on the street. I am not an expert on wetlands, and maybe there is something the builder could do by putting in a major storm drainage system that could feed water out of our properties and into the storm drainage system on the street. Not sure if the street already has a storm drainage system though, and I'm sure that could be a very expensive project for the builder. In any case, we are very concerned and do not want to destroy our family property that we have owned for over 60 years. So we vote no to this development unless a qualified engineer could develop such a system that would guarantee us that we would, excuse me, we would not have a water flooding problem in the future. If you have any questions or need to speak with me, please call his phone number. I am trying to have my sister come to the September 14th meeting, as I will be out of the country until September 20th. Thank you for helping the neighborhood. We sincerely appreciate your efforts. Stuart A. Jameson, Executor of Estate of Joan B. Jameson. That's signed by him also.
As long as you're good with that, Dave, that you're gonna put in writing that you're not gonna increase any flooding to existing properties, I'll be okay with that, but like you said, since
Zero runoff.
Zero runoff.
Mr. Chairman, there are two situations. One is that the existing problem that
Right.
is there, which is not caused by
Yeah.
this development.
Right.
I think they are responsible for the impervious surface that they're creating with this development
Right.
to manage the water on their site. If there is any flooding problem already existing, that
Right.
is
No,
not
as
the
long as
fault of this
Yeah.
person, yes.
Zero runoff.
But they are responsible to manage the drainage on their lot
Right.
with this development, like the roof drains and impervious surfaces, like the driveway and everything else. But they cannot be responsible for the existing situation there, just to be fair for them.
No, have we already done the calculations? I thought I saw something. You've done the drainage calculations
Yes.
and the runoff calculations, and you've figured out
Yep.
all that, and you gave it to Paul. Paul, did you look at that?
I did, yeah. He's
It's-
fine with it.
it's-
yeah.
it's good,
He's treating
yeah.
the water quality volume primarily, but it won't create an issue beyond what's there already, in my opinion.
There's zero runoff, correct?
Right, correct.
And when they submit their application for a zoning permit, at that time, there is another opportunity for the town engineer to look at, to make sure that everything is according to
Right.
our regulations and meets the requirements.
Any other questions from the commissioners?
No, mine was answered by moving the house to where it is now.
Right. Can make a motion.
Anybody from public?
Anyone from the public?
No? Okay.
Nobody from the public? You want, Dave, can you let her come up there?
Thank you. Nora Myers, 82 Hamilton Lane. I don't have a concern with the house itself. I just want to make sure that there's no further damage to the wetlands that causes all of us flooding beyond what was done in the 90s when he filled in that area, which is when the flooding began. And I know our house at 82 is badly flooded. 70 gets flooded even worse than we do. And I think that's probably why Mr. Jameson complained. It's not the house itself, it's just the fact of
Right.
continuing what's worse. When we walked through with Paul a couple weeks ago, he he noticed that what used to be a swale there for the part-time stream that's there, anytime there's rain or discharge, is filled in. So it doesn't flow down to that culvert you're talking about. And the culvert sits a little higher than where the swale is anyway. So that's our only concern, is that it does not increase what damage has already been done by the filling of the wetland. Thank you.
Thank you. Make a motion to close the public hearing. You guys go, make a motion to close the public.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
As long as there's no one else.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. B, application 2023-14 of JRD Properties Watertown LLC for a 4-lot industrial subdivision 192 Park Road, Watertown. You got to read the...
Yeah. Legal notice. Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency of the Town of Watertown will hold a public hearing at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, October 12th at the Watertown Town Hall, Council Chambers, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut, to hear and act upon the following application. Application 2023-14 of JRD Properties, Watertown LLC, for a 4-lot industrial subdivision and construction of 3 new buildings, associated parking and drainage at 192 Park Road, Watertown, Connecticut. At this hearing, interested persons may be heard and written communication received. A copy of the application is on file at the Land Use Office at Watertown Town Hall, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut, dated in Watertown, Connecticut, this 28th day of September 2023, dated in Watertown, Connecticut, this 5th day of October 2023, as Dalton Secretary, Conservation Commission Inland Wetland.
Mr. Chairman, I want to make some corrections here. We put this legal notice before the applicant came to the office and they changed their application. Now it is only for 4-lot subdivision. They are not proposing any construction at this time. And whenever they sell each lot to anybody, at that time that owner will come to the commission for individual lots to develop. Because the legal notice says that construction of 3 buildings, that part is removed from the application. Just want to make a correction.
Okay. Good evening. For the record, my name is Emily Jones, professional engineer with Civil One in Woodbury. We were here last month, and then since then we held a site walk on Saturday, September 30th with some of the members of your commission. And we located wetlands areas closest to the roadway, some on Lot 1, and closest to the possible future development area. As Musa mentioned, we previously and somewhat incorrectly had the application in for the 4-lot subdivision and construction of 3 buildings. The intent was to show, like we have to do for zoning, feasibility for construction on those lots. Our understanding was that the commission, we would have to come back for individual permits for each lot anyway, and so it sort of snowballed from there. But the intent of the applicant was to have a 4-lot industrial subdivision with all 4 lots accessing their properties from Park Road. The Lot 1 contains universal body and equipment, and will continue to do so. So essentially, we removed the improvements from the site. We also understand, because we had an in-depth discussion about this on the site walk, that due to topography, wetland areas, regulated areas, that there may be some site constraints on particularly lots 2 and 3 that may not allow for the full build-out of what was shown on the feasibility study for zoning, and that's fine. The applicant understands that that could be a restriction in the future, but at this time, they don't really know what's going to be built there. It could be built in 3 different phases with 3 different end users. So we're really just looking to divide the land. I believe that the lots are still feasible for building, even if the buildings have to be smaller on a few of the lots or shifted from where they were originally set. Those were just, intent to show the zoning commission that they are still buildable lots. So we respectfully request that the application be changed for an approval just for the 4-lot subdivision in the IR 200 zone. Lot 1 is 8.5 acres and will continue to be used by universal body and equipment. Lot 2 is 5.8 acres. That's the lot that contains the farm pond and some of the upland review area. Lot 3 contains some wetlands from that farm pond and is approximately 6.3 acres, and then the remainder is on Lot 4, which is 45.8 acres. Additionally, on Lot 4, in the rear of Lot 4, down at the bottom, there's 28.4 acres of conservation easement proposed, and this is about 42% of the 66-acre site. We have not proposed any access from Park Road to the conservation easement area. The intent for us is to provide protected land, wildlife habitat, buffers, wetland protection, and groundwater recharge, since that's a Turkey Brook area and it's a significant wetland area. So it does abut land of Mattatuck State Forest, but I believe that the continuity of that is helpful for undeveloped land, and that it should remain preserved as is. And that's really it, the change from the last meeting. Not trying to skirt anything, or anything like that. It's just sort of the unknown. They're really not ready to commit to anything. They understand that there may be, some issues. Maybe you can't build a 12,000 square foot building on Lot 2. Maybe it's a 5,000 square foot building or something like that, And so each one of those will have to come back before the commission for that regulated activity.
The conservation easement area that you propose,
Yes.
are you going to give that to the town of Watertown during this process, the approval
Yes.
of subdivision?
Yes.
Or you want to wait until?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that
I
is
believe
a
it's a
part of this
subdivision
application.
regulation, so
Okay.
yeah, we should do it now.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? I just have a problem with approving 4 lots and then they're gonna come back. We're opening the door for this. We'll have the restricted size of the building, that Lot 2 and 3 is a problem. I don't agree with that.
When they come to build on those
Right.
lots, you can reduce the size of the building, reduce the number of parking spaces. You don't have to go with what they propose.
Right. I'm just not comfortable with,
Yes.
now we're giving the okay for 4 building lots of something.
The statute requires the commission to make a decision on subdivision when there is wetlands on the property, because they're not proposing any regulated activity this time, and they're not impacting wetlands. Therefore, there is nothing for you to worry about it this time. Whenever they come for each lot, that is the time that you can talk to the property owner and then go for another site walk, ask them to show where they want to build, and ask to reduce the number of parking spaces in the building. And it depends on the use of the property.
Right.
Maybe they don't need that many parking spaces that they show on that previous map. I think it gives more freedom to the commission to look into each lot individually than to give a blanket permit for 4 buildings or 3 buildings. That's my opinion.
Right, so it's still all 192 Park Road, correct?
As of right now,
Correct.
yes.
So you invited us there for a site walk. We walked down behind Universal Welding. There's
Yep.
a lined pond there.
Yep.
I looked at all the maps. I don't see it approved by any place. Why is it there?
Okay.
I think that should be removed and taken care of. It's not, I didn't see it anywhere. Do you agree there, Paul?
I'm not sure how they show 2 detention basins. I'm not sure how both of those got constructed, or one was existing before the
That
build.
pond was used with sweet peat at that time.
Right.
And they moved from that property and they left it there.
We left the lined pond there.
Yes.
Yes. Oh. So that's gonna stay there? That's approved by who? I mean, that's why I looked at the maps. I don't see it anywhere. I just wondered how.
It's right here, detention basin, existing detention basin.
Right, that's an existing basin shown
Yeah.
on our
But
maps.
lot 1 is not in front of you for decision.
192 Park Road is.
Yes.
That's all, that's why I asked, that's one lot.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is one, so it is in front of us.
Do you want them to remove the?
Well, Paul, how does a line pond work in detention and all that? I'm not an engineer.
Well,
I
it
don't-
sounds to me like it's more like a farm pond or something that they were storing, they wanted water to store, whether to use for whatever purpose, so I'm not.
Right, we were out there.
We were out there.
Yeah,
we were out
I
there
missed the
for-
field walk, so unfortunately.
It was really fun. It's rainy and windy.
Well, at least
No,
if
we
you're gonna,
were
if
out
it's
there
gonna,
years ago.
if it's gonna function as a retention basin or detention or whatever it is, the liner should be removed.
I believe they have a second basin that was designed for the property, but I was not involved in the project at that time. I hesitate to remove a water body, but,
Well, I mean, remove the liner, make the pond function like, to me, that's like a swimming pool, the water doesn't go anywhere.
It has
So-
an outlet
Right.
that was designed by the
Yeah.
state
Okay.
DEP.
Okay. I just didn't see
For
it on
the-
any maps.
For the
It's got
purpose
a
of the
over-
sweet pea.
Yes, it
Huh?
has a-
So, right, it was
it
designed.
provides no purpose to the site now, but it was
Alright.
originally designed by DEP
Right.
with an outlet, and then it flows into what I think becomes Turkey Brook, or there's a brook
Right.
that,
and sometimes sometimes you'll see a liner in areas where you don't want, if there was some sort
Oh,
of,
right.
something underneath coming
Right.
up into it, yeah. In which case I would very much hesitate to disturb it, but,
there's, in the back of all lot one, there's water that comes
Right.
up.
But there is an outflow and inflow to that pond, whatever it is.
yes.
But sheet flows into that thing.
Right.
Because that was used for retaining the water, to reuse the water for the mulch,
Probably for, yeah.
to soak the mulch. What did you say about the liner? Did you say don't remove it?
I would not remove it.
You
Yeah.
would not remove it?
I would not remove it.
Why?
Because I believe they have another detention pond up above that works as a detention pond for the impervious surface on Lot 1.
Right.
And that treats it. And sometimes, if somebody put a liner in a pond, there was sometimes a reason for that with
Well,
water underneath.
The reason for that was, it was a sweet peat is made by.
I understand that they
so-
wanted to
and then
reclaim the
So
water.
they reclaim the water and
Yeah.
use the,
Yeah.
what you call it's in the water to keep treating the mulch. So it sheet flows into that.
Correct.
Lower one.
Yes.
From what used to be piles
Yep.
of mulch. So right now, I mean, it doesn't drain, it doesn't do anything.
Correct.
It actually becomes a mosquito breeding.
Right.
There's no circulation, there's no anything, and it doesn't completely drain out because the overflow is 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
I understand, yeah.
I mean, to me, it almost should go back to what the land was. Put it,
We can't
unless there's
support
some other reason not to, I don't,
It can't
just make
support
it
the
feel like
wildlife, right?
like what's next to it.
With a liner in a pond, it can't support what?
It's too small to
Correct.
be supportive of wildlife anyway. It's not a big
Right.
area.
No, right, it's never gonna be a natural thing.
I
but
think something should be
anyway.
done with the liner, that's my opinion. Because to
Okay.
me, like Ned said, it's just a mosquito breeder and it's never gonna function as a detention or,
It wasn't flagged as a wetland area, so we could work with the
Right.
town, the engineer, to come up with a plan. If
How
they,
big is it?
if they want to pump it out first and
Right.
remove the liner,
big pond.
right, and then put it back as a,
Size of this room.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty big.
it's probably a little bigger than that.
I don't think that pond was that, I mean, the pond that we looked at on Lot 2 was fairly large.
Right, the other ones, yeah.
The other one's not as big.
Oh,
Any other questions on this?
I just feel like to lot 2, that pond being smack in the middle of it really, and then lot 3 with the easement, I mean, they're tough. But, I mean,
that is what it is.
I guess you have to fight the fight when they come for buildings.
Right. But when you do that approval, you're assuming they're doing it. They're a buildable lot.
No, but they have to come back
Right,
to us
I know,
now, so, and each one individually, which instead of, so.
Anybody here from the public wishing to speak on Park Road? Anybody on,
Mr. Chairman, no hands raised at this time.
thank you. Any other questions on this? Paul, you're good with it, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the only thing I want to say is, you know, it's typical for a residential subdivision to show proposed dwelling, you know,
Yeah, right.
well, septic, and this is no different in that sense. And if it doesn't work when they come back for a site plan, or it's subject to modification, both in runoff, parking, everything, you know, so it's no different than, you know, it's commercial subdivision or
Right.
industrial that's shown what does have site development features on it, so
Right.
at least tentatively can be developed, so I have no issue, you know, reserving the fact to review it whenever they come back on actual site plan, then,
Right.
you know.
I guess make a motion to close the public hearing.
Are we gonna have competing, like permitting? Like, let's say this goes to planning and zoning and they approve it with buildings.
They can't.
They
can't.
cannot.
They
They're,
just have to
those,
provide
yeah.
feasibility.
Correct.
Okay.
We have to show feasibility
Okay.
for
I just didn't
zoning.
want there to be
Yeah.
buildings on planning and zoning and
No.
confusion.
Hopefully they do. Hopefully. I wouldn't guarantee that, but hopefully.
All right, motion to close, public hearing 2023-14.
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
For a regular meeting. 5, public participation. Anybody here from the public wishing to speak?
I see no hands raised, Mr. Chairman.
No hands, Mike?
No hands, sir. Yes.
6, action on the minutes. A, regular meeting, August 10th, 2023. Everybody received the minutes and reviewed them? Any questions on the minutes? Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve 6A.
Motion made and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 7, pending applications, application 2023-11 of Nicholas Biello for the construction of a single-family home, driveway, underground utilities within a regulated area on a parcel of land located on Hamilton Lane, Watertown.
He's moved the house.
Right.
It's kind of centrally located within the wetlands that surround it. There's not a lot. It's going to be a slab on grade. There's going to be as minimal disruption as there possibly could be.
The only thing I would say is if they ever want to add that in-law that they talked about, I think they should have to come back to the commission. I don't think it should be an agent approval.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree too. Am I making a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve application 2023-11
Standard
Conditions.
conditions.
under standard conditions.
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right?
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
B, application 2023-13 of Willem Zarella for the construction of a covered boat slip on the shore of Lake Winnemog, installation of a ground-mounted solar panels and upland review area, 229 Crusoe Drive. So Musa, before we get started, did you, on the map, when you see the 50 feet,
The wetlands end here.
Yeah.
So they're measuring the 50 feet from here, not from here. So the line is up. See that?
Yeah.
The wetland, the measurement is in the wrong spot. And this doesn't, something doesn't look right here. This has been changed. That's not there.
No, this is where they put the dock now.
That shows the dock over here.
This is on the other lot. Maybe this was like these cottages that they removed.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now it is wooded, this area. Okay.
Right, okay.
we did a site walk there tonight. Obviously, we have some problems with wetlands that's started even before we get to the dock. There, you know, there's a 50-foot wetlands there. And then I think when this subdivision was approved, was 50 feet, now it's changed to 100. So it looks, when I look at the map, 50 feet goes up within 12 feet of your deck.
It's more than that. 50 feet from the wetlands is into the house
Into the house.
by,
So basically, anything you're doing in the back there is in upland review or the wetlands.
Right.
And this is was on the map, this is what's on the deed. Obviously, there's been some work done down there by the lake. I'm sure we can go back on Google Maps on, years ago and see that there was vegetation, something has gone on down there by the, so to me, that has to be restored before we go anywhere.
No problem.
Digging in there and putting this, I just don't think it's gonna work there.
What's that?
That, digging out that 23-foot by area on the,
Well, we have a few options, right? Okay, first of all, it's in the wetlands, but my only usable space for the lake is in the wetlands. Okay, I have to access that lake, I have the right to do that, okay, whether it's wetlands or not. You don't build a house on a lake and not use the lake. Now, I also have a need for the ability to have someone use the lake and get on board a boat. We have a boat, but we need a handicap access way of getting onto that boat. There's only, if you look at my papers I handed you, there's only 3 solutions. 2 of them are not viable. So we only have one solution. The question is what we're going to do. Now, if we do traditional big docks in that area, I need to get heavy equipment down to that area, and I need to do that twice a year to remove and replace that dock. And that heavy equipment will go over the wetlands regardless. I need to get that dock out. Okay, I got to store that dock on land. Again, wetlands. It's the only area. I got 243 feet of land, but on left, you guys, well, not you guys, but they created a conservation area. On the right is another conservation area. The only area I have is the area we walk today. Anytime a heavy equipment goes over a property, whether it's wetlands or not, it's hard for vegetation to grow there because the soil gets compact. So if you're saying I need a dock, a traditional dock, okay, a handicap dock, which is huge, then I need access to put it in and to put it out. That means your wetlands will be run over every year, twice a year. And not only that, the dock has to be stored. It has to be stored in that area. That's not an easy area to access. Okay, there's a hill on that area. You only have one way going down, one way coming up. So the commission got to think, what do we want to do? We have to have a solution. I have a need, okay? And I have the rights to use that, and I have the rights to build a structure where we could get a handicapped person on the boat. So you got to decide, what choices do we have, okay? And I wrote it out. I spent some time with that. I had the dock guy there with you, and he even mentioned that that's what we came up with was the best solution overall. We're not taking away from the wetlands because all we're doing is cutting a little a little slip out, okay? We're going to have a walk up to that area, which makes it easy access. We have the ability to lift the boat, which stabilizes the boat so anybody with movement disorders could get on it, okay, and get off of it, okay? Matter of fact, that boat lift also is better for the lake. The boat's not in the lake for the whole year, where it stains. It can leach minerals, I don't know how much, but also it creates an artificial area for fish to swim until I move the boat, and fishermen are always fishing around docks. I find hooks in my dock all the time. They don't mean to do that, but it happens. So the question we have is, do you want me to run over that property every year, twice a year, okay, to put a handicap dock in and remove it and store it? Because I don't have to remove it from my property. I can keep it on my property. Right. Now, I'm willing to, and I really did a lot of investigation because I don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, and I don't want to get into crazy softballs with attorneys and all that, okay? But we did our research on it, and we came up with the best solution, and that solution is the one you walk today, okay? Where the dock is on an angle, okay? It's not visible from any other houses across the lake. Okay, it blends in. It's a minimum structure, very minimal. It's not made out of all stainless steel and plastic like regular docks. It's not as big as a handicap dock that would be in the water, because when a floating dock has to be out there, it has to be big, because the bigger it is, the more stable it is, okay?
Right, this
It's a
commission's,
minimum- It's a minimum.
this commission's only the wetland. Don't talk about structures and what we're doing. Wetlands only. We have no about sight lines, so when
Okay,
we
well,
went there,
but
we
let's
went,
all
sir,
put the
listen, we
package.
went there tonight, the wetlands is all disturbed, down by the lake. Somehow it got disturbed. We gotta talk
It's-
about how we're gonna fix that first.
Well,
I-
we can fix it, and I have no problem
Right.
with it. We could put
Right.
crushed rocks all the way across. I
Paul,
believe that's
Paul, they,
stabilization.
when, what
Okay,
it,
but I don't want to do that. I'm trying to return almost all my land back. We've had these conversations with Musa. I have a lot of grass there because I had to put a lot of grass there because it was all walk, okay? And I had to get my bond back, okay? So I put grass, but we're slowly letting it reclaim, and we talked about that. Where even my front yard, we want to reclaim it to nature. I don't want to mow a big lawn, and I don't want a lawn down there. I don't want a lawn anywhere, to be honest with you, okay? But the property dictated what I had to do. That area, I don't mind planting, whatever the commission wants. But I'm not going to do anything there where I'm going to be running over it, because I am going to go down there and take the dock out in a few weeks, okay? Heavy equipment again, okay? In spring, I'm going to put that, if I don't have the approval, I still got to use my other dock till we get our approval for the handicap. We'll eventually will. But I want to make it, I'd rather come up to, a good solution. And I believe I did my homework for that solution.
this is the problem, you're in the wetlands.
Yeah.
And you knew that when you bought, that's on a deed restriction, so there's no secrets here.
Right,
We
but
know
I
what we're
believe-
dealing with, so
but I-
don't,
Yes, but I believe my needs supersedes anything else. Okay? 'Cause
I'm
I
not
need
right.
We
I'm not
are
an
not
attorney-
sure
I'm not
about
an
that.
attorney.
We are not sure about
We're
that.
not
We have
sure
to
about
check that, yes.
I know.
Mrs.
But
Rillo.
I am improving
Yeah.
our property, and you can see by the property, I care for that property, okay? And I've been slowly, I've done all that work there. But I have no problem returning anything. I just want a walk path down there, and I want an easy way for people to board that boat.
I mean, there's
Mr. Zarello.
work that's been done in the upland review area already without permits that,
That's all cliff that was there.
no, the
Okay.
driveway
Yeah.
is in the upland review area. It's not
Yeah.
on your plans.
Okay.
That shed is in the upland review area, it's not on your plans.
The
No,
shed
got
I
approval
approved.
for that.
We
The
did,
shed, yeah, I
We
approve.
got approval for that.
because his measurements here are off, so the shed would be in that upland review
I don't
area,
think
so.
so. I think it's just outside. It's 50 feet. And yes, it's
50 from the
I'm positive it's
wetland,
way
not
out
from the
there.
water.
I
But,
have no problem you coming down and measure. It's
no,
not-
and it's not for me to measure, it's not for me to decide. But we need to repair what's been done, which I know you said you'll do, and it makes sense to do it after, obviously not before you do anything else. So we have to decide on whether this is the best type of dock. There are docks that you don't disturb the water at all. They have ramps that go down into the water, and they pull the boat up on a trolley system. I'm on a lake lot, and I see all kinds of docks. And they have walks around them. So there are other alternatives. So you're saying this is the only one.
This is the best one, the cheapest one, most efficient one that I don't have to pull up every year. You
The
can't
other-
pull up docks on that area. That area is all rocks.
No, but the other ones are permanently on land. The ramp part comes out of the water after the boat, and it's handleable by men, by hands. It's
Well,
not,
we had-
no equipment needed.
We had weed docks there.
What's
okay?
that?
And he knows a handicap boat is usually a pontoon boat because it's stable, both the pontoons are out. Okay?
Right.
And that's a small lake, so you're gonna have a 21 foot boat by 8 feet wide, okay? And I asked him, what is the options? There's no, you're talking about a personal watercraft thing.
No,
okay?
they make them for boats.
Mr. Zarello,
Yeah.
you have an application in front of the commission, and the commission has three options. One, to approve it, second, to deny it, and third, to modify it. The commission is willing to work with you. We talked about it on the sidewalk.
Right.
But unfortunately, you said that this is what I want, and now I want it this way.
That's not my intent.
Yes,
No,
we told you that there is another alternative location. You already have a dock there. Just do whatever you want to do, put it there, not on this new site.
So you're saying I can dig
Wherever-
I can put the same, we're talking.
Yes,
so
where the
wetlands.
dock is, and then leave that area alone. You have to come out with a planting
You gotta
plan.
come up with a whole engineered plan. We're not gonna approve saying you're digging, doing this. Paul, this, the landscape.
It's a small
It-
boathouse.
it-
Why
You're
does
digging
that
in the
be
wetlands,
engineered?
you're gonna have a permit or the design of how we're digging this and how you're supporting the, from running off in the lake. You're not just gonna go start digging a hole in the lake.
No, you don't, no, but I'm saying you don't need it.
Paul, there was a landscape bond, correct?
On the original site plan?
Right, so the whole back of the house isn't planted, it's toward the lake. How does the bond get approved?
There was stabilization as much as you can get
Right.
with the rock, and we thought that it wasn't getting into, I didn't see that lower area. I thought that was better shape than it was when we went
Right.
out there today. in
And
my-
there's the other driveway put in down there.
Yeah.
There's
that's-
two more driveways, correct? There's one at the lake, and he has a second asphalt driveway. I know that's not the wetlands, but that should be a zoning issue, correct?
Correct.
As far as I know, you can't have two driveways on
That's
it.
correct, yes.
Right.
That was unauthorized, yeah.
So that's another issue, but that's a zoning
Yeah,
or,
but yeah, we're talking wetlands here, so,
right, but that's a issue, impervious area. That's what I'm getting at.
right, yeah.
And you should understand that the commission wants to allow you to do what you want to do, and at the same time, they're trying to protect the wetlands.
Oh, I agree
And
with
that
you.
area in the lower part of your property, that is wetland,
Right.
come out with a planting plan that you throw some wetland vegetations there.
I have
And,
no problem
yeah,
with that.
and then put your dock where the existing dock is. Why you have to go all the way to the other side?
Well, there's.
Just
there's
be
a couple-
reasonable.
There's a
Yes.
couple of reasons, because there's no stone walls there, if you notice, okay? Also, we have that little Jennison Peninsula that's there, that prevents the waves. If you look at it, we get all our winds comes across from, I got a picture of it, but it protects where the entrance, that boat gazebo, open boat slip, will prevent waves coming that way, and also the wind won't blow leaves into it and all that. That's why we-
And one other thing, that having a boat is a luxury thing. It's not like something that you
Right.
need. You have to have the boat to live in that
No.
house.
Right.
I mean, there's millions
No.
of homes that they don't have a boat,
Right,
yes.
enjoying the lake is
Yeah.
another thing.
No, you already have access to the lake. No, you already have access to the lake. You have a dock,
You
you
have
have
a-
a boat there,
Right.
go use it.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
no, you don't understand, okay? That
No, we
dock
understand,
is-
but you don't want to
that
give
dock-
up anything.
No, that's
Yes.
not what I'm saying.
Make a
It's-
motion
That
to
dock,
deny
that dock
Make a
is
motion
not a
to deny.
handicap dock.
Then change it to a handicap.
It's
Yes.
huge. If you grade what I wrote, okay, and it doesn't, I still gotta put a boat.
I mean, I don't
Okay,
want to
well,
argue.
listen,
Sir,
if-
Yes.
sir, we're done. We're not
Yes.
gonna argue with,
Well,
thi-
no,
we're,
no,
no,
no.
yes, we're done. What we're,
This is very important, I'm sorry, okay, this was a very.
just make a
important.
motion
That's why I
tonight.
wrote it.
Get it done.
No, I know, that is what you want, but the commission wants to protect the wetlands.
Right,
We need
All
that
right,
a week in
Yes.
advance.
Can you tell me what would you like, and then we'll work.
so you need how you're gonna restore the wetlands. You need some type of design of what you're digging and how you're gonna line it and where the fill is going. You're just not gonna go down there. You don't come here with that.
Well, that's.
You
that-
restore the
that-
wet-
Well, I'm sorry, but isn't that Jeff's job? Once you get approval, how I'm gonna build it?
No, we need to see it before there's approval.
This commission
doing
will,
work-
All
You're
right.
doing
This-
work in the lake, you
I
need
didn't
a
know that.
plan to, some kind of coffer dam. and
Right, you
pump-
gotta
yeah.
have
You
a-
need to have coffer
You know,
dams, and
yeah, you
that's
don't
what I'm
want-
saying, there's no way of building this without disturbing
Yeah.
any water.
Is this
There's no way-
significant
right,
activity?
I agree with
Do we
that.
need to vote on this? I know the last time we had something like this, we had to vote on if it was significant activity.
yeah, yeah. This is working in the wetlands.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the way of building it is totally, you don't just start digging.
No, I thought it was just get the approval to do this.
There's no approval without a plan. So there's no sense going any further until you come up with a whole wetlands plan, stabilizing that bank, how the dock's gonna go in the material,
Okay.
Then we'll
That's-
take it.
That's not a problem. Okay.
how you're gonna, like I said, coffer dam, there's a lot involved here.
Yeah.
Removing that second driveway that goes down to the lake, that's all in the wetlands. That's in the upland review area. There was no
That's a slope. There's not a driveway, that's a sloped area. okay?
Oh, so that'll be all planted?
Right, yeah.
So the rock, the crushed stone or whatever's in there being removed, and that'll be all planted?
Mr. Chairman, after we saw that the disturbance to the wetlands, now you should decide that if this is a significant
Correct.
activity or not. And
Yes.
then based on that, it gives you some time, and at the same time, Mr. Zarello will come out with some detailed
Yeah.
plan. A planting plan for that wetland area, and also the detail of the dock that you are building, but not the location that you are proposing.
No.
Where the dock is already there. That is the only place that the commission can approve it.
So we
Yes.
make motions to the connect.
That's not a problem, but why is that? Because it was a dock right where, if you look at the original
This is the
plans,
connectivity.
there was a dock at that location also. Okay? If you
We,
look at
we
the
talked
original
about it on the sidewalk.
subdivision plan,
In order
they
to
actually
use that
show a dock.
location,
I'm just asking.
you don't listen. In order to use the proposed location that you want to build, you have to cross that wetland
Lines.
all the time.
Right.
We want to protect the wetlands and put the dock on the left side. Isn't that,
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
that's clear, I mean.
Right.
This commission has one job to do, to
Right.
protect the wetlands, and you don't want them to do it.
So make a motion, but that's significant activity.
Motion to vote on application 2023-13 to be significant activity in the wetlands.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Roseanne, next meeting is on November 18th. When is?
November 18th. So that's when you want me to bring back that proposal?
Just 1 second.
17th?
16th? Okay. And you hold a public hearing on, okay.
All
Make a
right.
motion?
Make a motion.
Make a motion, we have a public hearing on November 16th for application 2023-13, 229 Caruso Drive.
Second.
Okay.
Motion's made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So it'll be a public hearing in November.
And then make a motion to table it.
Make a
Is that
motion.
both for the boathouse and the solar array?
We need to
For
get
both.
this-
That's for
For
the whole
both.
application.
For the application,
The whole
for the entire
application, right,
application.
so everything.
Okay, all right.
Make a,
We can't
Motion
split the
table.
application up.
So the next meeting, I gotta come in with that material you're
Yes.
requesting?
yes, a plan.
Before
An
the
en-
meeting.
An engineer, somebody got to draw a plan, not, you're not doing it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I have the boat back here. All right, all right. Can I have that in writing, what you're requesting?
Yes, and they're gonna
For the
need,
next meeting?
yes, and they're gonna need feasible and prudent alternatives.
Yeah.
Right.
We did that in that paper again. Oh, well.
Okay.
Make a motion to table.
Motion to table application 2023-13.
Motion made and second. Any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. New applications, 2023-15.
Oh, sorry.
Of Vincent DeRosa, Watertown Golf Club for stabilizing a water course bank and removal of 3 beaver dams at Watertown Golf Club.
No, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
item
that's what I'm
C.
Oh, C, I jumped.
Yeah, you
Park
missed
Road.
item
Yeah.
C.
Application 2023-14 of JRD Properties Watertown LLC for 4-lot industrial subdivision at 192 Park Road, Watertown.
You close the public hearing, you can make a decision tonight.
Anything they do there is coming back to us. All we're saying is, it's, if we approved it with buildings,
It just seems counterproductive to just push a can down the road to me.
Right.
it's normal. Every subdivision, they put the lots.
Yeah,
And then
when
put
they
the
come
houses.
to you for each individual lot,
Right, but
the
it,
houses
the
are
house,
gonna
but
be.
it never changes. It
Just
always
one-
changes. You know what I mean? So it changes anyway, they have to come back anyway. So if they put a 5,000 square foot square,
But at least there's a basis for us to go off of later.
what's the difference? I don't see a difference. I don't.
I don't know, I don't, like I said, I think you're giving a false pretense, but whatever.
you are not approving anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
You-
understand.
Yeah,
Approving a subdivision and we're approving lots that we know are gonna be problematic later.
those lots meets, subdivision is a planning function of the commission, not this commission, planning and zoning commission. And those lots meets zoning requirements and subdivision requirements. And you are not approving any activity on those lots, no regulated activity. They don't have the right to put a shovel on the ground.
But they're gonna come back saying that we need reasonable use of the property
Yes,
into something that we could have prevented if this was, you know, let's just say 2 lots, or, you know, I'm just making up
Well,
numbers
that's what we
here.
do now. If we
Yeah.
don't think it's reasonable right now for the 4 lots,
If they come out with a plan-
Tonight's discussion is.
if they come out with a plan with 10,000 square foot of building, you can say, no, for that lot, only 3,000 square foot, because we don't allow you to go into the wetlands or something. At that time, you have more control.
But somebody is gonna spend a lot of money on
Right.
engineering
Yeah.
and site work to get something approved that we know now is a problem.
And what is the problem?
The subdivision, lots 2 and 3, those are my thoughts.
Right.
Well, that's why we were discussing it. What are you trying, what would,
I don't know what the answer is, but I just know that
get rid of lot 2, make lot 3?
some,
Draw a line right here, which we can't really do anyways, but make this piece
know-
part of this and that all one lot, and
You know,
that gives them a bigger space,
Right.
and that gives,
something, yeah.
and what were our alternatives?
Put the, lot 2 of the building in the back,
You can't go by the pond,
behind the pond.
you can't get there.
But if they move the lot lines, they can,
Yeah, right.
right? So it's like, there's a lot of things that we could do now.
Right, no, absolutely. That's, so
I
we
agree
can,
with
we can say, we like this, we don't like it.
Then you shouldn't close the public hearing.
Huh?
You shouldn't close the public hearing.
Right,
You closed it.
right.
The applicant cannot submit additional information.
Right, we're stuck now. This should have been discussed back then. So, I don't know. I mean, lot 2 and 3 are pretty limited.
Let me
But they'd be
give
pretty
you,
limited even if you would do all that engineering now to bring it to us now, right? So you say, okay, we have a building now.
Maps, I think it's clear that you can see everything better. But the small one is hard to read.
I've got a full set of plans here, Musa, if you want.
Yeah.
I got a full set of plans here.
Huh?
It's wrong.
But-
You're giving it wrong, John. We have to make them wrong. I'm going no too.
Okay, excuse me. Your concern is about lot 2, no?
Correct.
Yes. This is a buildable area. This is your upland review area. When they come to you for development, you can say, okay, stand this side and show me what kind of building you can put and how many parking spaces you need. I mean, you have more control over the development than the actual subdivision. Even you can deny it if you don't want it, but you have
Right.
to say that
I
what
mean,
will be the impact on the wetlands.
I don't see the difference of if they came here with a building there already, or if they come back with a building.
I would just feel bad for somebody
Right.
going to look at a 5.8 acre lot.
But you know it going into it,
Right,
but this is there.
If you just combine lot 2 and 3, they could put a bigger building on here and be done.
Or,
You're
or,
right, yes,
right.
yes.
or if
Well,
they
that-
made
but
it to
that's-
get to the back
That's
of
their
lot 2.
decision, that's their choice. They want to put a small building, that's what they, whatever, that's what they propose. But, yeah, I don't, what'd you just say?
I mean, they could get a road to the back of lot 2, push lot 3 over.
Yeah, I don't know how big, how wide is that? What's this, the width here, 180?
It's not any, it's not
Right.
much wider than the front.
But then then the way it is here, you're getting more use out of this piece of land, you're actually going backwards.
No, because you're downstream of the pond.
You're upstream of this one, the big one,
Yeah.
on the bottom, but
Yeah,
this is the
but
better
there's
one.
more room to mitigate that one.
Yeah,
I prefer to have the building close to the road because you will have a shorter driveway, less impervious surface. And then once you go behind that one, and just don't forget, if you allow them to build a building next to the road, that entire back of this lot will be open space, basically.
There's nothing they can do. They cannot cross the pond. Actually, if you want to protect the wetland, this is much better because we don't want a long driveway to the back. And then it's up to you. I mean, you are the commission, you are voting on it. But if you look at, in my opinion, I think it is much better to have short driveway, the building next to the road, and then when they are ready to build, at that time you can control the size of the building, the number of parking spaces, what kind of drainage system you're looking for.
I mean, if it came tonight with a proposed building here, proposed building here, proposed building here, and then we go to build it, they change it, they have to come back anyway.
Yeah,
So
but-
we've already, it doesn't make a difference. No one ever builds the
Right.
50 by 50 building
they-
that's proposed in these subdivisions anyways.
Right.
They end up in front of us again anyway. Everyone,
But it's just.
residential.
I think the easy way is to combine line 2 and 3 and be done with it. That's,
I don't say I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with any of it. Just,
But the
But that's not our-
Planning and Zoning
that's not our
Commission
choice.
approved subdivisions. Because
Right,
it is,
we don't have
if this
that,
lot meets their
unfortunately.
requirement,
Right.
the subdivision requirements,
yeah.
your jurisdiction is over the regulated activity. You are trying to protect the wetlands. And when they come to you, that is the time that you try to protect your wetlands. And tell them that, no, we don't allow you to put 20,000 square foot building.
I mean, this is-
I agree with what you're saying in the sense of, like, you don't want someone to go through the trouble of buying
Right,
property and then
yeah.
going, but that being said, like Moose is saying, we can't dictate that. If planning and zoning saying it's good for four subdivisions, then
I just think if I was buying this parcel, I would like to know, like, hey, wetlands had some major objections ahead of time
Right,
instead
yeah,
of,
there you go.
you know,
Right,
like, it just
but
would have been.
that's.
You don't buy it first. You come to the Wetland Commission for preliminary discussion and say, hey,
Right.
I want to buy this lot.
But if I come and I wanna put a building on that lot,
Yeah.
I gotta have an engineer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes a quick no is better than a long yes, you know, because you spend, these engineers aren't cheap.
But that's not your problem. That's-
But I think, you
Call
know,
for the question.
We are focusing on the wetland issues. In front of you, there is no regulated activity this time to approve or deny it. They're proposing 4-lot subdivision,
Then
and the
why are
reason
they
that they
here?
should do buildings
They want
because
4
that's a requirement by Planning and Zoning Commission.
They're actually tying their own hands by doing this. Because if you made this one big lot, now you can access all of this or
Right.
whatever, if we did that. Now, this lot is very, very restricted. And if I go and buy it, and I'm, in the end, spending extra money because I didn't do my homework, I'm an idiot. So, which happens quite a bit. But, I don't,
Most people, when they buy a lot, they in the agreement, they say that's subject to the town approval. And they come in front of the commission for preliminary
right,
discussion.
for commercial stuff,
Yes.
yes, right.
But there's
There's always,
but
Yeah.
it's
there's,
not like you're
there's
buying a lot for your house.
no, but there's expenses before, there's expenses to get the approval.
Hey,
I
that's,
just figured if we could avoid a headache now instead of, you know, having it hit us later, but those are just my thoughts.
We can't, I don't. So, if, to vote no, we have to have a reason, a wetland reason to vote no.
Yeah, no, it's, those are my thoughts.
And I get it, yeah, absolutely.
Make the motion then.
if the commission wants to approve this, it should be subject to a condition that for each individual lot, the applicant should submit an application at that time, which they have to do that.
They
Just
have to anyway.
mention that into your motion, that, to make sure that.
Right.
You are not
The only
approving-
one is, that you could possibly do anything without coming back to us is lot 4. Because there's area here that's
Yes.
no, that's, not within upland review area.
And also the conservation easement, I asked the engineer, and she said that that is a part of this. They will give this back of the property as conservation easement.
Using your paper for that, that's my way. That goes from here to here.
Well, it's all wetlands anyways.
Correct.
They're not giving us anything.
No. No, correct.
No, it is wetland, but if you look at that, somebody can come for the building here if they want. We have no jurisdiction over this area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, these are all
Right.
the possibilities. They put a road here and can build here, build here.
All right, make the motion.
I'll make an motion to approve item C with the stipulation that for every lot, they have to come back for approval for any buildings.
Second. Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Abstention.
Abstention?
Abstain.
Did you vote in it?
I voted yes.
Yeah. One abstention. All right. 8, new application. Application 2023-15 of Vinda Rosa Watertown Golf Club for stabilizing water course bank, removal of 3 beaver dams at Watertown Golf Club, 246 Guernsey Town Road, Watertown.
I'm standing in for, sitting in for Vinny. I'm the golf course superintendent. My first name is Paul, last name is Bonini, B-O-N-I-N-I.
Just give your address, Paul.
246 Guernsey Town Road.
All right.
I live at work.
All right, so Moose and I went up there for a walk, and walked with Vinny, and it seemed like, you know, what was proposing to be done was to help stabilize, which is Steel Brook.
Correct.
And then he showed us the beaver dams under the power lines. And he said they had trapping, or going to get a trapping permit in November, I guess, when DEP opens the trapping. I'm not sure.
Correct, yeah, November 1 it opens up.
So you were familiar with what he wanted to do?
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, yep.
You went up there and saw the beaver dams?
Yes.
There is an aerial photo in the packet. If you look at that, those orange lines.
Yeah.
This is the side of the bank of the water course that they want to stabilize. And the 3 beaver dams are located in this area. See these black dots?
Yeah.
And they want to remove that because this whole part of the golf course is flooded now.
Yeah.
And they want to just remove that. And at the same time, I told them to contact DEP, that in November, I think they can, I think you know better, in November they can trap the beavers?
Yes, so November 1st, they can have basically anybody come in the trap because it's trapping season. However, they can also apply for a NUCO to come in outside of the regulated season to trap year round. That's just an additional fee though.
Correct, yeah.
That's the only difference. So November 1st through, it goes into the next year early on. There is no fee. You could have anybody come in and trap who's licensed to trap.
Okay.
And then outside of the regulated season, you could have basically a nuisance wildlife control officer. That's a fee. It's a pretty expensive fee, but they can trap year round outside of the season.
Okay. Perfect.
This is something, Paul, they would like to do sooner than later, correct, to stabilize what's going on there?
We'd definitely like to do this sooner rather than later, especially, I mean, as we all know, the storms,
Right.
they're getting worse and worse, and we're losing more and more of that bank.
If you look at this picture, you can see that how that bank of the water
Right.
course is eroding. They want to bring some rocks from Guernsey Town project, I believe.
That's what I understand, yes.
Correct.
You are getting the rock from the town
Yeah, Guerrera Construction.
Okay.
With the work on Guernsey Town
Okay.
Road.
to use it there.
Yeah, they began blasting a couple days ago, so we were.
Yep, yes.
Mr. Chairman, I don't see a problem with this because this is actually improving this erosion problem. Because if they don't fix it, it gets deeper and deeper. But the timing, I don't know. Can you wait until next month or?
Well, that's what I was hoping for. I was kind of planning on more getting our existing property a little dried up, solid, possibly even a little bit of frost in the ground to, especially with the equipment getting so close.
Right. Okay.
We really don't want anything sliding into.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was looking for more mid-November.
Okay, then you can wait until next meeting, then make a decision.
Right, well, that would be November.
That would get us to the end of
November
November for
16th.
you.
November 16th, is that okay, or is that too late? Because the,
Can we?
he could, the office could approve it.
If the
15
commission
days.
wants,
Right,
yes.
yeah.
But because this is the work in the water course, I thought that if
Yeah.
the commission wants to
Right.
decide it.
That's fine.
I would,
Yeah.
if he would approve it, then in case the frost comes sooner,
Yeah.
I don't know when it's coming,
Or
but,
if you're ready, whatever,
Right.
then it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Because I know that they're looking to get the material moving because they've already began blasting that rock. So
Right.
if
Yeah.
we can get some type of approval so we can get the material on site instead
Right.
of them hauling it off site, that'd be a
Right.
big help.
Make a motion.
So make, what?
Then you can authorize me
Yeah.
to approve it after 14 days
Right.
from today.
Yes.
Make a motion, we approve,
You don't approve, you authorize me.
Authorize.
oh, right. Make a motion, we authorize staff to give agent determination, right?
Yes.
Approve or authorize the repair of this erosion and removal of the beaver dams and beavers after 14 days.
Second.
Motion made second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
14
Thank you.
days from, 14 days from today,
Yes.
Yes.
so we're looking at November 1 anyway, so it'd be perfect time.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
perfect. I
All right.
appreciate it. All right,
Thanks, Paul.
all right, thanks a lot.
16
Have a great night.
Take care.
Old business, there's two on there. A, notice of violation issued to owner 30 Jericho Road, Watertown. B, notice of violation issued to the owner of 1267 Northfield Road, Watertown.
Mr. Chairman, for item B, I give him only until end of October to put those markers, and he has until October 31st to do it.
Okay.
He came to the office, we sold him the markers, and I told him that work has to be done by end of October. And then I will go and check that, and I will report it to you at the next meeting. But at this time, just table both items.
I'll make a motion to table both items,
A and B, correct.
A and B.
Second.
Motion made second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 10, new business, none. 11, communications and bills. Correspondence regarding abandoned barge in Lake Winnemog. I think that's really a zoning issue. It's not a wetlands issue.
It is not a zoning, it's not a wetland,
Right.
it's an existing barge, and actually they can go to the Park and Recreation Department
Right.
and say that, hey, we want to move that, and go ahead and move it. It's,
So it's nothing to do
It's
with,
like a dock.
yeah,
It's been there more than a couple of years.
yes. They just,
just to make a motion to file?
the homeowner association in Lake Winnemog area, they want this to be moved. They emailed me, I said, you don't need a wetland permit. If somebody wants to move it, just go to the Park and Recreation Department to make sure that you just move it. That's it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just
Are
accept
they
and
looking
file.
to have the town do it?
They were
That's what
looking,
they-
yes,
yeah.
but it's not the town responsibility.
Right.
Yes.
Motion to table and file 11A.
Second?
Motion made second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. A, reports from officers and committees, chairman's report. Paul, have you been up to, I just bring up the corner of Echo Lake and Buckingham, that retention, they're up there,
Right,
I-
the food center, whatever it's called,
Right.
Watertown Farms, yeah. I know they're working on, they put the outlet structure in,
Oh,
I
did they?
didn't
Okay.
see a real problem with it at this point. I did go before when they just had a
Yeah.
berm and some
Right.
stone in there, I didn't see any visible erosion or deposition or anything, but I think it's stable right now, even
Oh, is
with the
it?
rain we've
Okay.
had, so.
'cause I know the growing season's ending here, I didn't know when they're supposed to stabilize that.
Well, they can keep it as, you know, a temporary silt pond
Right.
because block the lower outlet, they got
Yeah.
plenty of capacity there for that, so I can go and make sure they know about that, or Moose, you know, Moose or I can do that. so.
That's all I had.
I'll do it after. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
How long, High Meadow, they did the grading, what they said they were gonna use the dirt from the pond, the pool to grade that bank. They never put the fence back up. How long do they have to do that?
5 years.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, you got your
Put it
answer.
on the calendar for 5 years.
2028.
B, report from Wetlands Regulation Review Committee. Tom Murphy's not here. I don't know if you've heard anything from the town attorney, or we're gonna,
No.
we don't need to, correct?
We were waiting for the entire commission to approve it and then
Right.
send it to Tom. I think we should wait
Okay.
until Tom is here, just table it
Yeah.
at this time.
Motion table 12B.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 13 reports from staff, none. 14 public participation. Mike, is there anybody on?
No.
Thank you. And make a
That
mo,
gentleman.
Are you here to speak, sir?
all right. I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.